balance of my power. History in halves, one brain. I will break the chain. Oh no, tokori wa yobu. Moeru rame koru to boku no ai to kirai ni iru. Oh no, tokori wa yobu. Moeru rame koru to boku no ai to kirai ni iru. I love, I hate this city.
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy O.T. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down. Below me, bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side harpooned and fought her when she dived down low. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not on greed, but he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. For 40 days or even more, the line went slack, then tight once more. Our boats were lost, there were only 4, and still that whale did go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on. The line's not cut and the whale's not gone. The wellerman makes his regular call to encourage the captain, crew and all. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will not hear you scream. You can break the keys, spread your toxicity, your world outside reality. In your room, a little hideaway, but you let it through. Enough to go insane, living in the dark hasn't treated you well. You're building your own prison cell. short today. Feels like I fell 1,000 times. Nothing but doubt to flood my mind. 'Cause sometimes it's hard to remember why I ever started racing with my dreams. A restless December, feeling I was meant for more than I believed. I'll never surrender, rather try and fail.
Paid for just yesterday.
Oh boy, so yeah.
Oh, guys.
Now we're live.
No, I
Right when you got to that.
never. Right when I get,
Yikes.
it's always something. Yeah.
You gotta talk to that urologist.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's on speed dial.
Yeah.
Or at this point,
Did
is
you
speed
get
dial even really a thing anymore?
it,
Because you
technically
don't really need that.
technically
You can
all
just say
dial is
you-
speed dial, right?
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Which is weird because it's like, what's your wife's phone number? You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, you gotta think about it.
Yeah. Those because you got to make the kids memorize
Yes.
the phone numbers. So
Yes.
so that's why Sean and I know each other's phone number
Right.
very, very well.
And I memorized my wife's, and that's pretty much the only one I remember. What it means. That's the only one technically I need to remember. But
Right.
yeah. Did you get the snip, by the way?
I get the. I know the that is the scissor hand motion. The yes. Oh yeah, years ago.
Yeah,
Many
me
years
too.
ago. Yeah. Like yeah, I didn't even it's like so many years ago it's not even
I know, but it's a memory.
I couldn't figure out you were talking about it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Did this
are
help?
you asking if I'm circumcised? It's like
No, I did too. The yes, and I had the most humorless urologist ever. 'Cause of course, I was cracking jokes the entire time, and he was
obviously.
buying none of it. The nurse laughing her ass off. She almost fell out of her
There you go.
chair.
It's like as long as you have an audience and someone
That's it.
appreciates your art.
Right. She fed the flame basically, so I kept going.
Exactly.
And he was like,
so yeah, let him do his
yeah.
thing. Actually, he doesn't need to be distracted.
He's not even part of it.
You know, let
Right.
him do his thing.
I
The
even
nurse,
went.
she's just holding
Right.
scalpels and shit.
I even went. Whole thing was done, and I get up. He's like, "Okay, how you doing? How do you feel?" And he's like, "Well," and I said, "What'd I say?" It was like, "Well, I had the sudden urge to sit on the couch, watch Hallmark Channel, eat ice cream, and talk about my feelings. Is that odd?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's odd." And the nurse was like, "Ah!"
You know, I was just really I have a set of Grey's Anatomy DVDs. And
Yes.
I'm just gonna
Yes.
sit back. I don't even need the DVDs. I'm just gonna stream. I'm gonna binge watch.
I'm gonna binge watch
You know, all of Felicity.
all of Felicity.
And
Gilmore Girls. Oh my god.
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
Oh my God, love.
Love Gilmore Girls. Dude, what's her name? Speaking of Gilmore Girls, I gotta go on this one too. That's another one that I was big on the Summer Glau during our last conversation. I don't know if you remember.
Right.
The
We do have questions to get to though.
we
do
do.
have
I'm sorry.
people-
I just gotta
We do
mention
have questions. We
Rory.
also should say
Rory
hello.
on Gilmore Girls is a close second to Summer Glau, the daughter. Look her
Her
up,
in
man.
the show, or now is what or just that actress.
I think. Well,
Wow,
I'm
in the show.
concerned. I'm
Okay.
concerned because her in the show, was she under 18?
Yeah, wasn't she a kid?
I
Yes.
don't think so. No, stop it. Stop it.
Maybe in the later seasons, but yeah, I mean, she was in high school at least, or
Stop
something.
it.
when
No, not the
started.
actress. Not the actress.
No.
Alexis
No,
Bledel.
even
Alexis Bledel.
Yes.
Bledel. Rory Gilmore.
yes, you have liked Alexis Bledel before it was okay to like her, That's
I'm
just
confirming
fact. That
that,
has
and I
happened.
know we have to get to her question,
has
but I
hap- that
need
has
to
happened.
confirm this.
and
So original
know
release
what?
was 2000. It came out in 2000. Okay. To 2006
Okay.
is when the show ran. Okay, so remember that. So 2000. So Alexis Bledel is.
just look IMDb. It'll tell you the.
I'm doing her age right now. She was born in 1981, which means she was 19 at the first season of the show. Which is still not necessarily okay, but it's not.
It's fine. Yeah, okay.
illegal okay.
Yeah,
I've
you
done
know,
nothing.
but
I've
you
done nothing
skirt the
wrong.
edge. Even well,
I've done nothing wrong.
as a male, we do things wrong each and every day, just in our heads.
In our minds.
In our
Crime-
minds, there's
crimes,
so much shit going on. Crimes against ourselves, against humanity.
the crimes we
against-
commit are
just
really
against decency. are just heinous.
atrocious in our minds, right? And
Yeah.
all the horrible things that notice every horrible thing that's happened in the past has been at the hands of a man. That is that man executing on those horrible thoughts he's having, which right.
And that's why they picked the bear.
Question 1.
Yeah.
Question 1 from comes from Esmeralda.
Oh, and hi everyone, we are here.
We're back. Happy New Year.
Hi.
We
Happy
didn't do
New
it.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Hello.
Yes.
It's
It
been,
is.
we were off for a bit.
We were. We had the holidays.
bit of a sojourn.
We were doing family things. We were doing other things. We were doing things.
And to be honest, our schedule it would have lined up with a Christmas Eve show and a New Year's Eve spectacular.
Right.
Neither of which we had the
Tough competition.
the ability for. So, but now we're back into vanilla January.
Yeah.
You know,
It's just plain
by
old starting off a
January,
new year. And
which
by
is
the way,
the
this is our I do want to announce this. This is our 48th episode of Hey Seriously. So
Yep.
we want to thank all of you that have come and supported us. It's wonderful. And send us your questions, because without questions,
yes.
we're just going to talk about Alexis Bledel.
Yeah.
If we don't have questions.
Yeah, and I do not want to talk about Alexis Bledel.
I'm
Like,
going to work her
just-
into the conversation somehow. I'm going to figure out how to do
I know
this.
that you
Figure
probably
out
will.
how
I mean, Summer Glau, fine.
Summer Glau,
I get
so,
that. You know,
so hot. So
Sarah Michelle Gellar for me, I get it.
Really?
Um,
I'm not as big on the blondes.
it was just because of Buffy. Like I just
It was hot in Buffy.
it was the show. It was the whole show. That's yeah. All right, question 1.
Wow, oh my god. Anyway, question 1 comes from Esmeralda from Salt Lake City, Utah. Esmeralda
okay.
says, oh, Utah, here we go. Okay, Esmeralda says,
They clearly need help.
so many questions from
I
Utah.
mean, they're
It's
so
like-
well, in that whole like four corners
Yeah.
area. Yeah.
What is a Utah person? A Utonian? Is it like a Utah-anarian?
Mormon.
They're just
They're a Mormon.
Mormon. And if you're not, they run you out of the
Or
state.
they're the Church of they're LDS. Is how they say
LDS.
it now. So yeah.
Which, as we discussed before, is a sham.
Okay, what is
Mormon.
Esmeralda's
Esmeralda,
situation?
who might be Mormon, Salt Lake City, Utah. I am a 34-year-old female, might have a problem with sex and all the things that are correlated to that. I am horny almost all of the time, and I truly
Not a
think
Mormon.
it's ruining my ruining my relationship in some ways. I make jokes and flirt with my partner. I'm always very touchy everywhere, any moment. It happens even when my partner isn't in the mood, and it makes me feel like shit when he rejects my advances. Have you heard of this before? How can I overcome it? Esmeralda, you've come to the right place.
Yes.
This is the proper
I think
forum.
It is safe to say
Get
we
at it.
have absolutely
Yes.
both experienced this
Right.
before.
Yes.
Because
No.
I just want to say that like
Yes.
at one point both of us would have gladly fucked a consenting couch.
Yes.
So we understand that
Yes.
with that urgent
Yes.
life. But please go.
Yes.
At
But-
Vanguard.
Well, I think this is going to feed back. I mean, we've given it similar advice before, and especially when it involves Utah, and our answer is going to wind up being, get out of Utah. Right? I think is
Yeah,
what we're going to
I
come
think-
down to. So I think you might be dating a Mormon, your partner, potentially.
Right. Yeah, because that would be because I would say to the two pieces of advice I would say is get a really good vibrator to take the edge off.
Yes.
So that because this is the situation that you're
Come on,
in,
the bullet.
and then get the fuck out of Utah.
Yeah.
How many times do we have to tell you people?
Every time.
Like I feel like it's a lot.
Leave
and
Utah.
no one's listening.
Right.
And believe me, if you come to if you go to a different state, I think you might find gentlemen who are appreciative of
Yeah.
your desires.
Anywhere else in
and
the universe,
biological needs.
except maybe the Vatican. Anywhere else in the universe, except the Vatican,
Vatican, unless you're
you are considered
well,
a
the
prize.
kids,
You're
yeah.
considered a prize.
Right.
It's what you are. Normal,
Right.
awesome, a
Yes.
win. Yeah,
Like,
you're doing it right.
You don't need to overcome anything. I mean,
No,
what
you're
what
fine.
I think what's important, I think what you need to overcome though is the the shame that you're feeling, that you feel like shit because
Correct.
he rejects your advances, because that's not because he's not like attracted to you or whatever. That's
Right.
that's simply because if the biology isn't there and you're not in the mood, it's like you can't. And if he's in a situation where, like, especially if he knows that he's not going to be able to, like,
Right. Please you and perform. He'll
please you or get it up or whatever, it's like, no, I don't want to. So you don't, if you try to force the issue, it
Yeah.
will. So if that happens, it's not a rejection of you.
Right.
I think that's in general a good piece of advice for all
absolutely.
couples and stuff,
And-
because there's
and-
just that, like, leave me alone,
Right.
But it doesn't mean you don't find me attractive anymore. Like, no,
Right.
God, fuck.
You got to get over that, exactly. But I would ask, like, what the situation is with, like, the oral game, right? Like, if you guys have a healthy oral relationship that you're
Yes.
readily
Actually,
performing
everything
on each
does
other.
come down to oral for you. It's
I
all
love
about
the oral.
it's all about
It's so
cunnilingus.
good.
It's a lot.
I'm just saying,
It
if I
is-
was with a partner that said, "Hey, you know what? I wake up really horny every day. I would love oral for you to go down on me and give me an orgasm." I would be like, "Yes,
That would be the best thing in your
I
entire
will
life
do
ever.
that for you. Yes, I will do." Who would?
And-
It's
and because
my
you,
loving
as a
partner. Why would I
person-
not? Right?
And I love that for you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying not everyone has that level of testosterone that
I don't
they
even need to
are
get off.
dying to.
I'm
Does that? I mean,
I'm saying, even if I'm not in the
have,
mood,
like,
if you're
I don't-
saying, "Hey, it would mean a lot to me if you give me oral every day," I would do it. You know what I mean? This is what I do for my partner.
Of course. If they asked, if they ask you to
Right.
muff dive every day,
Right.
be like, sure, I'll muff dive,
Absolutely.
whatever. It's like, but if but there isn't like most people don't require that level of intensity in terms of, like, I require that I require that you cunnilingus every morning.
Yeah.
Before to start the day, before the coffee,
Right.
you down there.
Uh,
Yeah, I get, and maybe you would love that. I get it.
would love
mean,
that. I would
there's
go
a
to
time and place for
town.
everything.
Go to
No,
town.
I mean,
Yeah, I know.
listen,
I know.
save it for an elementary school.
I would
Come on.
say, right, so I would say that you're with someone, Esmeralda, that you are sexually incompatible with in some ways. Maybe you do have good sex when he's into it, but maybe not when you're not. Yeah, you might be just physically incompatible with your partner, right? And that's a factor. I mean, we want to pretend it's not a factor because we think
because
we're
you are
above
in
that.
Utah, and your partner is a
You're
Mormon.
probably Mormon, right?
And
That's our suspicion.
Those are both huge negatives.
Ah, I'm
and
telling you,
so,
you will very easily find a compatible partner with a matched sexual drive if you find one. Not a problem. And you will
Yeah,
have the time of your life.
like, yes, things will be looking up, or you
Yes.
or things will be up around you and available to you for your services or service needs.
Absolutely.
Is what we're saying.
Absolutely.
So, Esmeralda, we wish you. We really do wish you very much luck.
Yes.
And we know
Be
that
you. Don't think you're broken.
And if
You're not broken.
if there is a problem, then write us back, and we will absolutely. We have resources.
We do.
We have networking
We know people.
between Vanguard and I. We will find you
Yes.
someone who can appreciate everything that you have
Yes,
to give.
that you're offering. Yeah, you'll be well cared for, guaranteed. Guaranteed. In a good, healthy way, of course. The only thing I would say, okay, now, as I do, I will do the contra, right, to the bassoon.
What's the contra?
The contra bassoon versus the bassoon is the contra
No,
to the bassoon.
No, oh no, I know what that is, but okay, but go ahead.
Right. So that is the if there's the potential that you're a sex addict, that's a legitimate.
Oh, okay, you're
concern.
going to the extreme.
Right.
Okay.
If she is extreme, a
Okay.
little unclear based on the wording, right? But if you're a sex addict,
Yeah.
that could be a concern. So, which means, like, you're desensitized to certain things, and you just need it for the sake of needing it, and your reasons, and it may create some unhealthy relationships, even with people who have a matched sex drive, right? So, just something to be aware of. Just something to be aware of,
Because if
Yeah.
it truly is an addiction issue, it's something
Right.
that's going to eventually be impossible to satiate, because that is the
Correct.
nature of an addiction.
Correct.
However much you have available to it, you will become either desensitized, and you will always require
Mhm.
more or different or better or something or a new experience, and it will lead not down a good path. So
Yeah.
if you can, as I said, get the fuck out of Utah, find a person that's into you that you're into, and
Have fun
make sure
Go
that
nuts.
they go down on you every morning.
every morning. Yes. I was gonna say a good science experiment to do is to willingly like abstain from sex for a day or 2 days. You know what I mean? Like don't even think about it and don't try to initiate or want it. And then when you have it, A, it'll be a lot better because you sort of delayed it. If you're actually, and then the B is that you're actually able to delay it. It means you have it within yourself to do so. Lends towards maybe not being a sex addict. That's all I'll say. Just as an experiment.
Right.
Try that.
Yeah, I mean, my guess here is not, I mean, yeah, it's the sex addicts on the true, female. It's not super rare, but it's fairly uncommon.
It's true.
With males, it is much more common.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
For sure. What was that?
Yeah, please go get laid.
What was that? Please go get laid. Absolutely, as much as you want. Yeah. Who was that? What was that movie about? It was like a documentary style. It was about a woman who was a sex addict. Her experiences very shocking because it kind of went to Cannes and it was and it showed legitimate penetration. Shoot. Would have been called Nymphomaniac. That's what was the name of the movie. Nymphomaniac.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that. I'm a married man. So I'm
My ring's not on. Oh god. What happened? Oh shit. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, Esmeralda, good luck. You're not broken. Don't think you are. Okay. Let's see. Next comes from Jonathan from Clemson, South Carolina. My girlfriend, who's a 20-year-old female, claims that I, a 21-year-old male, play video games too much and I'm addicted. I checked my hours and I played a total combined 5 hours of video games over the past week. My argument to her is that an hour of gaming a day or maybe 2 every other day isn't ridiculous, and she claims she can't deal with that for the rest of her life. It's way too much. For context, we are in college, so we don't have kids or super long hours at work, and we have been together about a year and a half. What do I do? Jonathan, you've also come to the right place to discuss this.
You absolutely come to the right place. You break up with your girlfriend, who's a fucking Luddite, first of all, with a room temperature IQ, where she is unappreciative of the finer things in life because she doesn't have the cognition to work out zippers and buttons. Okay, I am an old man now. When I played video games for more than 5 hours at a time in 1987 when the controller had one button.
Yes, a video
or
game
even
sucked.
in '84 the one button. I mean, like is there such a thing as video game addiction? Yes.
Of course.
Is
Is 5 hours a week it?
Oh my god, no.
Absolutely not.
4 or 5 hours, I think, is what my average coworker spends.
Yeah, right.
Gaming, from what they tell me.
So Jonathan, your girlfriend has an insecurity issue, is what it is, and she feels like that you give a priority to the gaming instead of her, and she feels uncertain and
it's not
insecure
about the gaming.
It's not about the gaming. It's about the attention she wants on herself.
If there was something else that you were doing, it would be that.
Yeah.
No.
It is, my friend, breakup time.
Because I mean, especially with that, because like,
sorry to say,
if she's going with that 5 hours a week is ridiculous. It's like, sorry, she played her hand too quickly, because it's like,
correct.
that she went full crazy too far. It wasn't like she wasn't even at a reasonable, like, 5 hours in a week.
Yeah.
Like,
if you said a day, we could have a conversation.
We could start a conversation.
Right.
We could absolutely start one.
Yeah.
But 5 hours in a week, there is no conversation to be had.
No.
In fact,
welcome to normalcy.
Have so many other things to do, because.
And what does she do? Does she watch TV?
1/24 of your day is taken up by gaming.
Here's the big one.
Okay, fine.
Does she watch TV? If so, how much? Right.
Yeah.
At least you're interacting with your media instead of just sitting there blindly watching it and having your brain turn to jelly. Right. It's like.
Hey, now we're getting a little judgy.
I'm sorry. You're a big TV person. I know that. My bad.
I am no longer a TV person.
I know you
had
were
children, which made me not a TV person, because it made me I don't have any time at all person.
Correct.
So while I'm still a TV person, but like 2 shows like at a time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Like,
gotta
I think
pick
I
and
can
choose.
handle.
Gotta
I
pick
can
and
handle like
choose.
a couple of the big ones. You know, House of the Dragon. Yeah, I'll watch that because it's like I will. You know, Dune Prophecy. Watch that.
Yeah.
Star Wars stuff. I'll watch it. But yeah,
Right.
Days of. Like, do they have sitcoms? Do those exist?
I think
don't
they
even-
still do. I
don't
think you
know.
can still
I
find
think
them.
like Reno, not Reno. No,
It's so old, dude. You're
one
dating.
that Andy Samberg is in.
Oh, area department
Brooklyn
something.
9.
Brooklyn 9-1, Brooklyn 9-9 or something.
I think
yeah,
that
Brooklyn
is
9-9.
technically a situational
It's a
comedy.
sitcom. It is. Yeah, it is. I've seen some clips. But anyway, you're fine, Jonathan. If your girlfriend's pulling this now, you got to get out of Dodge. If she's already pulling this
Right.
card, like Green Pants said,
Yeah.
not going
There's-
to end
I
well.
mean,
This is the
it's-
start. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Of her
I mean,
trying to control what
if
you
she's-
do.
If she's at 5 hours, again, yeah. I mean, the math is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, if she's saying the hours are ridiculous, and it's like, no, you blew your wad, lady,
Mhm.
because just calling 5 hours in a week
Yep.
ridiculous. It's like, okay,
Right.
yeah, just
And-
luckily you're in college. And
Yes.
hopefully your college is full of other girls that you can hopefully that
Engage,
aren't,
yes, that you can
know.
enter relations with. Yes.
completely nuts.
Yes.
know.
Maybe you can meet.
No,
Wait,
but
maybe-
more just like absurd,
Yeah.
absurd in their expectations.
Yes, especially you could tell because he mentioned specifically can't deal with that for the rest of her life, which means she's thinking, I'm gonna marry this guy.
Marriage.
I need him to be with what I want him to be. You know what I mean? It's like,
Exactly.
and I'm telling you,
She's
dude, if this
already
is
that
happening
sexually
now,
make you-
you got to get out.
Wow. Yeah.
Get away.
Exactly.
All men,
Yeah,
listen.
that's not
if
like
girl-
a
if
partnership developing.
Yeah.
That is, I am sculpting a future for myself,
Correct.
and I want you to be, or I see you as part of it.
Yes.
Here, and I don't see video games as part of
Right.
it. So we're gonna address this now.
Right.
And so
Right.
that's why you say, no, I'm gonna address this now. You fucking Luddite. I'm out. I don't.
For sure. For
Wait,
sure.
I guess because video games, I'm just saying that's really anti-technology. She's just
No, it's time away from her.
Luddite
That's
is more
why.
of
That's
like,
why
you
he's.
know-
Oh, that's true. Luddite. Yeah.
But
But she's so
you're,
pissed because it's time
um,
away from her. Again, it's not about the games, right?
Also, dude, you're in Clemson, South Carolina. Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah. He may be going to Clemson University actually.
Okay, well, I mean, that there's like 50,000 women between the ages of 18 and 22.
In this 2-mile radius. of
With
you.
it- Yeah, exactly. Like, there's options.
At least
You're-
one of them will be okay with your video game.
You know where you're not? Utah. Hey,
Yeah.
someone not in Utah.
Yeah,
You've
you're
got
winning.
options. You don't
You're
need
already
to
winning.
Go anywhere. You're right there. You're fucking ground zero.
Yeah.
Like, so, just fucking start looking,
Yeah.
and play as many video games as you want.
Yeah, no, you gotta put the. I mean, can you salvage this relationship? I don't know. You got to be able to have a mature conversation. Say, look, it feels like you're trying to control me. I do what I do. You say you love me for how I am. If that's true, you accept the things I do. If you don't love me how I am, then let's have that conversation now. Maybe this relationship needs to be reevaluated, right? See what she does.
Help me roll this body up into this rug
Right.
and carry it down these stairs. Because part of our deal is that we don't ask questions.
Questions. Right.
Do we?
So
You know
Jonathan,
what happens when we ask questions?
you're fine. You probably
I'm
need
sorry,
to break.
what happened?
You probably need to break up with this girl, but you're fine. So, but good luck. Okay, next one. Jonah from Austin, Texas. Jonah says that I started a new job last spring. When I first started, the environment and vibes were great. Everyone got along, friendly work environment. Today, my boss' attitude totally shifts. Nothing I do is fast enough. Nothing I did was right. I was my boss's proverbial punching bag today out of nowhere. Do I confront her tomorrow or just silently look for something else and cut my losses? Jonah. Austin, Texas.
Yeah, if your boss has a complete and utter change of personality after years of consistency, something
Last
is probably
spring.
going
Last
on.
spring, not yours.
Well, it's has it been? In my experience, if someone just completely changes their personality, like that, there's probably some sort of external experience going on because this changed like in a day. Because it didn't. I mean, didn't the person say that it was
Last
Wait a
spring.
second. I've lost my
Last spring, you got the job.
connection. I can look up the question now.
Today,
Um,
the attitude.
No, I started a new job last spring. When I first started, the environment and vibes were great. Everyone got along, and it was a friendly work environment. Then today, my boss's attitude totally shifted. Nothing. So he's saying, I've had this job since the spring. Everything was going fine. This shift happened overnight.
Yeah.
And so I think if it's that, there's something going on that's like external because, you know, it's going to you because, you know, as Pythagoras figured out in like 560 BC, shit goes downhill. That is how, you know, that's ultimately what a hypotenuse does.
Quoting
It
on
lets the shit roll
Pythagoras.
right down it,
Oh,
and
that's
that is, you know, and you will find that. So if he got in a fight with his you know, girlfriend or has something going on or whatever, and has a completely changed attitude, probably your best bet is to lie low and be like, yeah, okay, and if he comes back and is still like that, okay, then you have a problem and you have a situation where your boss is abusive. But if this is a like one-time thing, you know, or, you know, if you're friendly with your boss, you know, maybe after the next weekend or something, you go back in and be like, hey, is everything okay? You know, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends on what kind of relationship you had.
Maybe
Maybe not with this.
I have the contra theory again, and
Okay.
its potential that
What's the
Jonathan
Punch the boss in
Jonah.
the face.
No, it's potential that Jonah's a shitty worker, and that this whole period's been the honeymoon period, and the boss has been graceful. Now she's like getting ridden a little bit from up above, and she's like, I can't take this guy not getting a shit done anymore. You know what I mean? And the honeymoon's over, potentially. So I think, Jonah, what I would recommend is go to her tomorrow to say, hey, kind of went off on me yesterday. Am I not doing my job well? And has that been the case for the past 9 months? Like, if so, please tell me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I know what
Right.
I'm missing here, you know?
Yeah.
Because it
You have
made
to
me
ask for
uncomfortable the way
for
you
the
treated me.
feedback.
Yeah, exactly. You got to ask for the objective, hopefully constructive feedback. You know, that's the key. I think it's worth doing before you leave.
You don't need to necessarily like cut your losses right away. It's like, okay, whatever. It's not like, okay, now I'm going to quit. I mean, like if it starts to continue, yeah, but
Right. Or if
but
she doesn't have a good
also
answer.
depends on where the job, where this job is,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
easy it would be to get a new job, the situation, you know,
All these factors.
is it a long-term career or is it just you know, a short-term? So,
Right.
but
And if you
yeah,
do go to
I
her
would
and ask
say-
that feedback, and if she doesn't have any good answers, she's like, well, I just can't take your shit anymore, or whatever, some nonsense answers, then you bow. You know what I mean? If she can't give you constructive feedback on what you're doing wrong, then she's broken. It's not you.
Right.
You know?
right,
But
exactly.
I just ask you, though, Jonah, to acknowledge that maybe there have been issues with how your job performance, and she's just not been saying anything for the past 9 months because it's the happy fun time. You know what I mean? And now it's kind of
Hot
over.
take: going after Jonah, going after
Hey,
our
you know what?
watchers, the people that need to. I mean,
I know.
I guess sometimes
All of
you
our
have,
watchers are not innocent.
people need hard truths,
Yes. Yes.
and they need hard truths in order to love them.
Yes. It's a true sign of a
and I
human.
think I think that's what you're doing here.
Yes, it's a true sign
You're
of
trying
human
to love
maturity.
Jonah.
It's yes, I'm trying to love you, Jonah. It's a true. I would give you oral every. No, I would not give you oral every day. It is a true
Wow.
sign of human maturity
I knew it.
to acknowledge when we're not getting something done right or doing something wrong. You know what I mean? That's like, oh, you know what? I have been a fuck up.
Very true.
You know what I mean? That's a very mature thing to do, and be able to correct it, recognize it, correct it, fix it. Right? Move on. Grow as a human. That's our goal on this planet, in my opinion.
Or maybe, you know, your boss is, you know, just evil now, and she was replaced by a doppelganger in the middle
Very
of the night.
possible.
She's now evil Sharon, and you got to
Evil
fucking bounce
Sharon.
because you have to find you got to find a new job because sorry, evil Sharon has replaced old Sharon.
Yep.
And also talk to your coworkers too. Are they
Right.
noticing the same thing? Are they
I was
being
about- I
treated
was
in
gonna
a
say that.
similar manner?
Yeah.
'Cause is it just you? Because if it's just you, okay, that
It might be you,
know, but if
right.
everybody,
Right.
it's probably external.
Right.
You know what I mean? If she's just in a pissy mood to everybody and just comes in like a
Bat out of hell.
just in a rage, yeah, she might be getting a divorce. Who knows?
Right.
But like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's, you know, in that case, that's where you just
Yeah, check with multiple
I mean,
coworkers
still talk,
to get
but that could be at least be the thing. But yeah, talk to the coworkers.
the
and see if
multiple
they-
coworkers to get consensus. But all right, Jonah. Good luck. You don't have to quit your job. All right.
I yeah. and we love you, Jonah.
We love you, John. Love
As
everyone.
much
We love
as,
all of our
as hard
watchers.
as hard and terrible as some of those things that Vanguard said about
We
you.
love all of our question submitters. We do. Okay, let's see. Bethany from Stamford, Connecticut asks, I have a Christmas party for my law firm next Wednesday. I personally work in IT and so don't really interact with any of the attorneys, paralegals, besides helping them over the phone when needed, though most of my job is with networking. I wouldn't really know anyone and wouldn't know how to approach others to start a conversation since everyone will probably be in their cliques, right? I've always been a wallflower when it comes to these things and feel like I'm not going to go. Should I still try anyway? Bethany, Stamford, Connecticut.
Oh my God. Okay, Bethany, you should absolutely go for a few reasons.
Yes.
You may not directly interact with employees that often, but if you're in networking, when you do interact with them, it's usually because they need your expertise yesterday,
Immediately, right.
and they are losing their fucking minds.
Right.
So, with that said, you can say, "Hi, I'm Bethany from IT. Remember, I was the one that stopped you from killing yourself when your
Right.
computer crashed during your presentation."
Yes.
Like, that's a good icebreaker to when someone's laptop reboots, you were there for them. Did you ever change their password? Alternatively, even if you've never interacted with anyone, just make it known you know all their pornography preferences. It's like
True, too.
that right there. You've got to and if you're in Stamford, Connecticut, okay, if you're at a law firm in Stamford, Connecticut, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're at a really fancy place that's got, bacon wrapped scallops for $26 a piece and $87 martinis.
Eat 10 of those,
Go
put 5 in your
enjoy that.
purse. What you need to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now take the flatware, anything that you
Take
can.
The flatware.
Steal
Maybe
it.
legitimate steel flatware. The lawyers
Espresso
can afford it.
machines,
It's fine.
whatever, if you can bring bags, back up the conversation, back up your car to the loading dock. I mean, you're not in Utah, so
Not Utah.
already. You're in Stamford, Connecticut. It's quite a different place.
Oh lordy.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know. What do you think?
I would go too. I would go too. It's like, don't be afraid of make friends, right? I know if you're in the tech world, you may be a little more introverted than your average human being, but
Right.
I think it's important to push your boundaries, step out of your shell. You might make some new friends, right? Especially like Green Pants said, they depend on you to get their shit done, right?
Right.
And they can't make their high lawyer salaries without you doing what you do, so they kind of owe you, right, in a way. And they might see
Yeah,
you once
if you
they find your IT, like, hey, everybody, this is Bethany from IT. What a novelty! She's from IT, right? And it's like,
Right.
you know,
I mean,
that's
sometimes
great.
IT is underappreciated, but like
Yes.
if people have interacted, they understand that that's when shit breaks.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be fixed immediately, especially
Yeah.
if you're like doing something like networking.
Right.
Probably that's
Network
super
needs to
important
work,
where you
yeah.
work, and that needs to be up always.
For our users that don't
So-
understand, networking is the way computers talk to each other. So it's
Right.
turns out it's very
And if they
important.
stop talking, nothing happens.
Nothing
anymore.
happens anymore without computers
Everything
talking to each
stops.
other. Computers no longer just talk to themselves; they must talk to other computers.
If all the
Right.
computers turned off, we don't have money. It's not a thing. We just
Exactly. Money goes away.
it is Mad Max
Right.
tomorrow.
The other thing I was going to say too is that typically people who are not that technically savvy don't understand enough about technology to appreciate what's involved with fixing sometimes complex problems. So, and that can result in ire towards those who are supposed to fix those. You know what I mean? So being there could actually be a benefit because humanizing what you do and them associating a face, critical functions might make them less prone to, rage screaming into the phone
Now-
about
now
why
you're
their
someone
network's
that
down.
they've met.
Right.
It's harder to be, I think it's always easier for someone that you've met. It's just easier to hopefully get along with if you can develop some rapport with them. But I think if anything, go for the flatware, and for the
Definitely take
and
the
for the
flatware.
scallops and all that stuff. Even if you don't talk to a fucking
Wrapped in
soul
bacon.
the whole time, you just kind of go in, just glide in, make appearances, or don't, just
Right.
or just back up into the kitchen, steal food, and leave.
Worst.
Instead.
That's the worst case.
Whatever you want to do, Netflix and chill. You know what, Bethany? Your life is your own, and I want you to be able to be. I want you to be happy.
There
And,
you go.
Why? You follow your
If you're
dreams.
single, maybe you'll meet a single, rich, high-powered attorney. Who knows?
Right.
Handsome, perhaps.
Or someone who's probably not an asshole
right.
and
Or
not an
not-
attorney.
that's not- go with it.
Um, yeah. Marry an attorney. Saying.
What's that old lawyer joke? It's there's a lot of them, but the one I always liked was what's the difference between a lawyer and a catfish? And it was like one's a scum sucking, bottom feeding scavenger, and the other one's just a fish.
Right. I mean, there are all sorts of lawyers, but yeah. I mean, real estate law, fine. I don't know.
Right.
If you want to set property assessment,
right? Estate law.
estate tax,
You know what I mean? Where like dealing with somebody's estate when they pass. Great. It's kind of like a formula for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But like,
if
litigators is our issue. Litigators.
yeah, if right, exactly. The ones that have billboards
Right.
and that are like, we want to create class action lawsuits. And so that we can get a amount of money, and then we get 30% of that huge amount of
Right.
money, and the more you that get, the less you guys get, but the more we get. So see, what happens is we get more, you get less.
Right.
Please join.
And we could
They don't
afford
send
our
it
houses
away.
in the Hamptons and all that. Right. Exactly.
Exactly. So when you get
Right.
that, but assuming that is not the case, do your thing. Say,
I think we're saying go to the party.
yeah, go to the party, and if it's not cool, leave. You're totally fine. But
Nothing.
it says something that you make an appearance that you're there, because it's like, oh, I saw you at the Christmas party. But to what Vanguard said, connecting a few faces, especially if you see some people that you may have work with, like if
Right.
you maybe you don't yeah, it depends if you don't know what they look like, but yeah, and also drink a whole lot of alcohol to loosen yourself up, so that you will not make a fool of yourself in any way.
I might not
And
recommend
you
that.
will be fine to talk to everybody, and you'll be a funnier person and a better person when you drink.
Yes.
And so
And you could
Do not take that
you could
advice.
jump on the photocopier and photocopy your ass. Dance with the
Yeah,
lampshade
if you-
on your head.
yeah, I mean, they probably don't have this at the,
Don't do
at the
these
party.
things.
At this
Yes.
restaurant, I'm not sure if they have a copier, but
That's true.
it's still a thing. Photocopying someone's ass, like
People do it.
I imagine they still have photocopiers. So
Yes.
all
Anyway,
right.
ignore that last part, but go to the party. And again, leave it. You can leave if you want to.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. Buddy, good luck. Last one. This is from Joseph from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Joseph asks, my wife and I have owned our home for about 10 years, and a few years ago I started getting interested in Christmas lights. Previously, we put up a string or two, but nothing fancy. This year I want to go all out, but my wife isn't totally on board. She thinks it's silly and a waste of money since the lights only serve as seasonal decorations. How do I convince her to let me Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation and level up our Christmas lights?
Joseph, you have come to the right place. Unfortunately, I think with the episode, with this question's a little timely, like we maybe have missed this, and this is for next year. But
Your pants
if
is
you're
an
looking
authority.
for permission to go full like Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation, I am giving it to you.
Yeah.
Right now. Why does your wife hate joy so much? Like, why does she
Ask
hate
her why
joy?
she has no joy in her soul.
What trauma occurred in her early childhood that she dare to call Christmas lights
Oh my God.
silly? I mean, I'm a huge fan of the celebrated documentary series, The Great Christmas Light Fight.
Yes.
And that is what we should all, strive to be, those people. I can assure you, whatever you have in mind is completely acceptable.
I don't know if I can
not-
agree with that.
Okay, here's the thing.
Whatever you have in mind is completely.
Whatever you have in mind is completely, and this is what I'll tell you
Okay,
why.
go ahead. Carry on.
It is your duty as a human being
Yes.
to decorate your house as festively as possible during the Christmas season. This is because we could all use some fucking joy, Joseph.
That's true.
Okay?
That's true.
And if you don't hate joy, like you don't, but your girlfriend does,
Wife.
I would say, tell her to stop, cock blocking your synchronized luminous beauty. All right, Vanguard, do the counter, but yeah.
I'm
go.
not a big
Okay.
fan of the
Just
lights.
spend less than $30,000 on the first rate.
I guess I appreciate them when they're done well. But I just don't like doing them myself. I did a decent amount this year because we had family that we were hosting. So actually,
But
I had the railing
what is your
lights, I
feeling
had the
about other
icicles,
people's lights?
I had the go nuts. It's up to you, right? If it means something to you, then
so,
go for
okay,
it.
that's not a contra opinion. I'm saying like you don't have to want to do
Within
it.
reason, like how much is like I don't know how much the stuff's marked up, right? It's been a while since I bought lights, but how much is like string lights? Like, isn't it like $5 for like 100 feet of lights or something? It's like really cheap, isn't it?
No, it's like $20.
Oh, really?
Like yeah. It's more of like 25 if you are looking for inflate. Okay, here's
The inflatables get really expensive. That's the problem. You go that route.
The inflatables. The secret with the inflatables is that if they are branded, add 100% almost to it.
Okay.
Like if you get a if you want
if I want Batman: The Dark Knight,
a snowman, if you want a 1 foot snowman inflate,
Yes.
not 1 foot, but like the one one like this, that's just a snowman. It might be $20.
I see.
If you want Snoopy, it's $40. You know, because it's like if it's an actual licensed thing. If it's a Christmas tree,
licensing
like
fee.
whatever, $22. Like there's but and so that's where they get super where you see the ones that have the Grinch and those are all
Got it.
branded,
Licensed
and so they
material,
all have this
yeah.
huge marking up. Yeah.
Got it. I guess if you, but the key is he's trying to balance like his wife's wishes, right? Doesn't want him to go crazy, and I guess easing it in, right? If I had to give a suggestion, again, I'm not big on the lights like Repent is, but if I had to give a suggestion, like think about like you have your yard and your space, right? Like I would say try to fill out the space a little bit, and I think inflatables are an economical way to get there because they're big and they light up, and then gradually, like, okay, the next year, replace this one inflatable with this crazy light thing. You know what I mean? Like one thing, right? And then to do, you know, and then you're sort of organically grow
build,
this.
Yeah, exactly. You do have to replace. It depends on where you live. If you're in Kentucky, you're actually, if you're in Bowling Green, you actually have good weather during the winter,
Yes.
so your inflatables will not be probably like destroyed by
A blizzard.
You know, -10 temperatures and that
Yes.
kind of thing. So, you know, those little motors, it's hard for them when it's 4 degrees outside. They start to conk out and get snow in them and all that. But, you know, just don't let your wife kill the spirit of joy that you have in your heart, Joseph. I mean, I feel it, and I know that you have Christmas spirit. And I'm sorry your wife hates.
Oh, another win I was gonna say, and I do this, and some people call this a cheat, but the laser projectors.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anything. To me, nothing's a cheat.
Okay, good. So you could
Anything that you do.
You
is
could
a
do
thing.
like spring lights on maybe like one part of the house, like maybe over the porch, a couple inflatables, and then the projector on like the other half of the front of the house. You know what I mean? And then you basically cover the house with light.
I have one projector, and it only sits a certain amount from the house.
Yes.
Then other lights take up the rest of the house, but I
see.
have a projector that goes right towards my kids' bedrooms, so that light show is there.
Got it.
It's not on the rest of the house, but that's sort of like for its own thing. And then, depending on your lawn, if you have inflatables, put the larger in the back. It's the same way that you would do a chorus,
Correct.
on
Smaller in the
risers,
front.
tallest in the back,
Tallest in the
work
front.
your way down.
Characters grouped by theme.
Mhm. Just try to make it as festive as possible, and just make sure that you don't max out more than 2 credit cards. No more than 2. Like I mean,
I don't think you need that.
but
That's a bit much. I think if you can reel buy those inflatables for
okay,
what
fine.
you're
One
saying,
credit card.
right?
Don't max out more than one
think-
credit card.
I think for under $500 you could cover the front side of a normal sized house pretty well with the combination of the projectors, the inflatables, and string lights.
That very much depends on you. You couldn't do a lot with that.
I think you could, based on the
you could
cost we were
do-
just talking about, you could do probably 4 decent sized inflatables.
Yeah.
The projectors
Oh,
probably
what did you say?
$40.
500?
Yeah, 500.
Oh, yes, for
Yeah.
500. Yeah.
You could cover the front side of your house pretty well, I
Depending,
think,
yeah,
with lighting.
yes. You don't like if you don't want to have like small individual things,
Mhm.
and you have just more like the larger things that project outward, yeah, absolutely, you can do that with but because you also have to get cables. The other thing is you have to
Extension
get
cords.
there a lot of when you have cords that all join together, they have special waterproof boxes that everything goes
I
in.
know,
Each
I
of
have
those
those.
boxes is $25.
Oh.
I have 25 of them.
You really?
So yeah,
I debated if I really needed them.
I mean, in the snow, yeah, it's, I mean, with,
I've never had a
with
problem.
the number of, with the crazy amount of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's definitely, it keeps it all dry, especially with inflatables that often have a very low voltage, like a big ass transformer on the end there.
Yeah.
At the
Oh, I see what you're saying.
that just takes up a bunch of room,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I don't do the
Uh,
inflatable, so I don't know. It's like, yeah. I did do the, yeah, like similar to you, I did like if you break the front of my house into thirds, the 1/3 was a projector, the middle third was icicle lights, string lights on the railing, those little twist tree, like it's a tree that's a spiral, of 3 sizes, kind of out.
Okay, that's a lot for someone who doesn't.
Yeah,
do
I
the
think so
Christmas light
too.
thing.
And
So
then
you do
nothing
the
on the
Christmas
third
light thing.
section though, so I kind of had a 2-section only,
Right.
but it looked fine from the street. The family enjoyed it, so I think I
So we both
Chalked up
agree
a
that
win.
it is not silly, and that it is not unreasonable.
If I lived
to
alone,
want
I
some
would not
seasonal
do it.
decorations.
I will say that. I know.
Hmm.
I'm sorry that disappoints you.
I mean I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean if you are a joyless hermit,
Yes, with
you're
no
not-
with
you're
no
not
joy in
probably
my
gonna
soul.
put,
Exactly.
you know,
Also-
if you're just a cat lady,
Right.
like Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Or
Crazy cat lady.
Wait, no, wasn't that crazy cat lady?
Crazy cat lady. So yeah, so Zarquan brings up a good point that now that it's January is the perfect time to buy lights because everything's on clearance and they're trying to get rid of it all.
Yes.
So Joseph,
The,
get in your car,
is true.
go to the store, go to the Walmart down in
All
Bowling
of the-
Green.
all of the vendors that I get for like
Yeah.
are sending like Christmas
I'm gonna
lights.
tell Joseph where to
extravaganza.
go. Bowling Green.
Definitely.
We're gonna look at the
um,
map here. And I'm gonna tell him where to go. Walmart or Target. I don't know. Do they have Target in the South? I don't even know.
Yes, they do.
Do they?
But your best bet actually is Home Depot or like a Lowe's. That's
Yes.
That's where you get the best price for
Yes.
anything like for lights or any of that stuff. Is going to be at Home Depot or Lowe's.
Yeah.
Maybe at Walmart.
Right.
But generally
So,
not at Target.
you
Think
have-
there's markups.
Yeah.
Because Home Depot, they have a lot of floor space and stuff, so they can put out a lot more merchandise for cheaper. So they have a lot more selection of stuff. They just put a bunch of lights everywhere. Target
They
has
do.
a very small seasonal section.
Yes.
You can only put so many things. They'll probably have like 4 or 5
I think
choices.
Walmart's got a pretty decent.
Target is a
selection.
worthless place to go to. Don't go to
I
Target.
like Target for
Fuck
certain
that.
things. I like
No,
Target. for certain things.
I like Target too. I'm
Right.
just saying.
So
For Christmas
Joseph,
lights,
you can find your
Target.
yeah. Your Walmart is right on the intersection of 231 and 68 there. So
We don't need to get that.
I'm helping him
Really,
out.
Clearly, he's capable of using.
And I'm gonna tell him where
Okay.
his Home
I think
Depot
we've
is.
helped Joseph enough. It is speed round. I think
Halfway
you're just trying to
down.
delay speed round.
Halfway,
You are trying to-
I am delaying it because it's my turn. I
it
want
is-
to be my turn.
It is your turn
And
to go.
the Home Depot,
And
hopefully
it's
that you
been a little
know, is
while.
right behind the shops at Gary Farms, which is right off of 231 northbound. And
Northbound.
yeah, yeah. So you can.
Where are we assuming that he is in Bowling Green, Kentucky? Did you have?
He said he was in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Hold on, maybe I can. Yes, he's no, but
speed
in Bowling
rounds.
Green, Kentucky.
Oh, it could be
it's
on the
speed round.
outskirts.
Okay, listen. Now
It
you've
is
gotten me
speed
into
rounds.
it. You're doing. Yeah. Now you've got.
I sucked
You
you in.
agreed.
I sucked you
You
in.
reverse you
Oh lordy.
you rabbit
Yes.
season, duck season me.
Yeah,
There.
I kind of did. I kind of did there. And if you want to go Lowe's, no, okay. All right, so it's time for speed round. It's my
Round.
turn. So I put a minute on the clock. So the idea is that Green Pants is going to get me with 5 rapid fire questions. I have 1 minute to answer them. I know.
60.
60. You could just do 60.
I got it. You have 1 minute.
I have 1 minute. So I will start the timer as soon as Green Pants finishes reading the first question. I believe this is the first one of the year, so this is like kind of a big deal.
Yes.
First one, 2025. Yeah,
Yes,
shake it out.
It is.
Shake it out. Shake it out. Shake it out. Shake it out. I got exercise. Where's my exerciser? Oh my god, I lost my
Really?
exerciser.
Okay,
Squishy.
this is the
I
stalling
gotta
again.
squish. I'm gonna
This is-
squish this. I'm gonna squeeze this for
You do not need.
exercise.
Okay, start it. Number one. I'm
Yes.
Are you
Go,
ready on the timer?
go.
What is the absolute worst smell?
Cat pee. It's gotta be cat pee. Oh,
What did you want to be when you grew up?
that'd be Superman, of course.
How much does it bother you that you did not achieve that?
Daily, a lot actually. That I cannot be Superman. All right. Big shattering of dreams.
What is the worst movie based on a DC comic character?
All of them.
Worst one. You gotta pick one.
Do I really? They're all so bad. I don't know. Catwoman with Halle Berry, right?
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
And what book did you read as a child that most affected you?
Ooh, that's a good one. I got 20 seconds left. I'm gonna take my time with this one. Several. Lord of the Rings definitely was solid, but I think I want to go like where's like societal impact. Like go like To Kill a Mockingbird because it really made me. We'll talk about it after, but I go To Kill a Mockingbird for children's classic. So
Right.
boom, ending the
Well
timer.
done.
Ooh, ooh.
Oh my gosh. The worst DC superhero movie. I mean, they are all
Catwoman.
bad is an acceptable answer.
Halle Berry's
However, about Batgirl that was so bad it got shelved and they never released it.
Catwoman. I never knew that got made. Get out.
Yeah. Bat,
I'm a comic book guy and I
2022,
never knew. 2022 it to try to
Batgirl-
do it?
no, yeah, it was a huge deal.
Is
It
there
was-
any
it was
footage
supposed to be
anywhere?
Released. No, it was basically
I gotta look
it
this
was
up.
the whole project was scrapped. So many people were
It
mad
was.
because it was a finished product that they were going to first they were like, okay, no, we're not going to put it in theaters,
Shit.
and then they were like, we're going to release it on like HBO Max, and then they were like, we are literally just putting this in the vault.
Wow.
And so yeah, there was I mean, there's stunts and all this stuff. I mean, people like hundreds of people worked on it.
I just looked
You know,
at
the
$90
actress-
million budget on a movie they never
spent
released.
$90 million, and they just are not letting anyone. It never sees
These
the light
Warner
of day.
Brothers. I wonder why you're having problems. Dumbass. Jesus. Yeah, but you
so-
can't say that's the worst movie because you haven't seen it.
No, that is true. That is true. But
We've
I'm
all-
just saying DC like
we've
really
seen
sucks at the
Catwoman.
whole movie. They suck at. Oh, wait. But okay, Jonah Hex. Josh Brolin in 2010.
Yeah. Is it worse
okay.
than Catwoman?
The absolute. Yes.
Okay.
It's called Shaq Steel. Okay.
Oh, right,
It is
I
where
forgot
he's the
about that one.
superhero
Correct.
Steel,
You win.
1997.
Correct.
Okay.
That is the right answer. That is
no.
the right answer.
Uh,
Shaquille
I
O'Neal
would've
as
said
Steel is the
Kazam,
absolute worst
But
answer.
Kazam was really
No,
just a
Kazam is
genie,
not a
wasn't
DC
superhero,
movie.
wasn't
That's not DC,
yeah.
right?
But Steel was
Yes.
a DC character.
Yes and
And
yes.
One
Awful.
of the worst things I've ever
Yes.
seen, and that was
Oh my
during the
God.
time that I was rating movies, so I had to
You
watch
were
everything.
huge into right. You had and you
So
could not
I-
leave the theater before the movie ended. You had to sit and watch the entire film until
No,
the credits rolled.
had to watch the entire film.
Right, that was the rules. I remember
it was
that.
part of the deal.
I remember that was the rules. Absolutely.
So yes, I've seen. Yeah, so I've seen all of Kazam. I've seen all of Harriet the Spy.
Yeah,
you know,
you're-
all of
but
movies from that.
the
particular
DC
time.
movies, you're right.
Okay, DC movies.
Steel.
Okay, this last year, 2024, Joker, Folly, whatever the fuck musical thing they did. What?
I know.
What is that?
Not good.
So I don't know, but definitely not that. Okay,
Not
but
good.
Superman 4: A Quest for Peace, like
Not as
Man.
bad as Steel.
Nuclear Man.
Not as bad as
Really?
Steel. I
It's
know.
so bad.
Not as bad as Steel. Christopher Reeve
It
was
was-
fantastic. Yes, the movie was bad. He was still great. Not as bad as Steel.
I think you
Steel was
have
so bad.
nostalgia for Christopher Reeve, and
I
that
do.
is fine.
I do. Steel and
Um,
Catwoman are two of the worst DC movies ever made, by far.
Yeah, Catwoman is definitely.
It almost ruined Halle Berry's
in the
career,
top
and then she
five.
went on to win an Oscar, thank God, for Monsters Ball. But
Yeah,
it's like...
then she did Monsters Ball, and she did
Pull
Monsters
it
Ball
out.
in 1985, and and ended up winning an Oscar for it. So, but and
For Halle Berry
now
fans.
this is now in this day and age, it's not. You know, I mean, making a bad DC movie is just like a normal.
Par
like,
for the course,
Everyone's been in a shitty DC movie at this point. I mean, like, you know, did you see Aquaman?
Jason
Sucked.
Momoa. I
Like,
was
did you
just
see the
about to
second
say
one?
Jason Momoa
Worse.
sucked worse. I know.
Like, would amaze me.
I tolerated the first
I will
one,
say,
but like the
the
second one was
first
so bad.
Wonder Woman.
It was good. It
First Wonder Woman.
was good.
Yeah. So Patty Jenkins
Yeah.
did it, right?
Yeah, but then she did
So-
the second one too.
But, so- okay, but so that is a film that is a DC character that does not suck.
Yeah.
You said all of them.
Right. All right. Fine. Fine. Not
I
all.
would say
That
I
was
would say
decent.
that and like Michael Keaton's Batman.
Michael Keaton's Batman, the first one, only the first one.
Yes.
It
The first
was
one.
good.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
No.
Yeah,
Jack
that was
Nicholson as the Joker. That's the one that was
Yes,
good.
Jack Nicholson. Yes,
I think
that is the.
I want to say the first Christian Bale was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Oh, Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. The first Christian Bale one.
What about
Yeah. Robert Pattinson
Um,
one. Not good.
Reeve, the Batman.
Oh my gosh.
They did a whole, Colin Farrell plays the Penguin. They did an entire HBO show on
Yeah.
the Penguin about the
Yeah,
the
they
mob
did.
in Gotham.
Yeah, they did.
You have some feelings on that?
Jesus Christ. They did it Alfred. They did a Pennyworth.
It's
they did
it's
they did a
Sopranos
Pennyworth
Gotham.
show. Right. It's Gotham.
Yeah, that's true.
Pennyworth.
Uh,
Like, damn,
oh,
it's bad.
The
Birds of Prey.
The Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern.
better than
Remember
better than Catwoman and Steel.
True, but that was pretty fucking
It was
terrible.
pretty fucking terrible.
Is the Shadow a DC character?
I
Alec Baldwin
think
was
so.
the Shadow?
Yeah.
What about Phantom? Because like
It's
Billy
so bad.
Zane,
Yeah. That was
right
bad.
in the
That
purple
was
suit,
bad.
riding the white horse
Oh my god.
through the jungle.
Sweet lord.
So
It
DC is just-
almost makes you think that when they're done with the movie and they sit and watch the screening, that how any human being with a mind can sit there in the screening, watch it, and go, "All right, that's great. Let's ship it."
which is why,
Yes.
makes me think,
Yeah.
how bad was Batgirl?
Right.
Because that did happen.
Did
in
that
that
actually
case. They were
happen?
like,
They watched
"No,
the screening
we
and they're like,
spent
"Oh
$90
shit, we
million
can't do this." And they
and-
flushed it
and
away.
We believe we'll get
Wrote it
more
off.
shit by putting this out
Right.
than
Then throwing away
literally
$90 million.
shelving it to everyone's press
100%.
stations that are like, listen, the heat what we'll get from this, because they did get a bunch of people were like, this is unfair that we worked on this project.
It's the
we're
movie,
proud
right?
of
They
it.
want to see the movie.
You know, nobody, we didn't get to see it, and it's like, no, you guys are not promised it gets released. You were paid to work on the product,
And you did
we
that.
have chosen to.
And well done.
Burn the product.
Right. Exactly. It's our product to burn. We're gonna burn it. Right.
I mean, maybe it will see the light of day someday. I mean, it is a fully finished film that was like, but it was an executive decision of like, no, we're not putting this on.
My
So
God.
I gotta see it.
My God. I kind of got to see it too.
Yeah.
I'm really curious. Can it take the throne from
I wanna
Catwoman
see.
and Steel? Is the question.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Um,
so what else do we have in here? We had
yes.
Oh, I wanted to be
um,
Superman when I grew up. Speaking of DC heroes. Yep.
The worst smell.
Yes.
Which I have smelled. It's called surströmming. It's a Swedish dish.
Food.
It's a fermented herring.
Oh.
That is popular in
Oh, that
northern
sounds horrible.
Sweden.
That sounds horrible.
It is a combination of dirty diapers, rotting fish,
Yes.
dead bodies,
Yes.
stinking cheese,
And people eat it.
and a little bit of vinegar.
Yeah.
And an egg.
I guess I was not being fair. So I guess the worst smell, really, like rotting eggs in the summer, is pretty goddamn bad. As is like
it's bad.
a body that sat out in the sun for a week. That is atrocious, right? So that's worse
Right,
than cat
exactly.
pee, right? So I guess I'm gonna go with
Right.
one. Of
I
those.
have never, luckily, I've never had to smell that. But like the death flower, that one that's the what's the corpse flower.
Yes.
Corpse
Yes.
flower emits a smell that basically smells
Yeah.
like rotting flesh.
Yeah,
like,
it's horrible.
like, oh my god.
Really atrocious. Yeah.
It was actually there's a thing called stench soup, which is used to test cleaning products.
I see.
And the woman who created it, whatever book they said that she was a cognitive psychologist and was like basically and was in testing senses
Yeah.
and stuff. And they asked her for a quote on like what it smelled like, and she said it smelled like Satan on a throne of onions. Which I thought was interesting because it doesn't immediately bring a particular smell to mind. But it is
But
evocative.
that it prompted
Like,
that in her mind. It gives you a sense of
Yeah,
what
it-
she experienced.
It's
It's amazing.
like Satan on a throne of rotting onions.
Yeah.
It's
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's
Great.
you know, what I wanted to be when I grew up, absolutely. I wanted to be someone who was an audio animatronic engineer who made
Of course, the puppets.
stuff for for
Back to the
auto
puppets.
animatronics for Disney rides.
Back to the
Um,
puppets. You want to
I
make like
wanted to
Small
make,
World. You want to do like Small World. Let's make that.
no. I wanted to do things like the, sometimes racially problematic Country Bear Jamboree.
I see.
Um,
I see.
Where the
Country
guy
Bear
sings
Jamboree.
"Blood on the Saddle,"
Yeah.
which is about a terrible rodeo accident,
Or the,
and no one seems to understand that.
Right.
Which is like the song that he sings is like,
Or
"There's
the-
blood on the saddle,
yeah.
there's blood on the ground,
Or
there's blood all around."
do
It
they
was
s-
like,
right.
it's great.
Not good.
It's
Or
still there.
Is the
No,
Pirates
I
of
think they did change it finally.
the Pirates of the Caribbean is animatronic, isn't it? And that's a pretty cool one.
Yeah, or like,
cool one to work on.
the first ones were like the Hall of Presidents and stuff.
Right.
Was where that kind of
Yeah.
started. But when I was a kid, that's what I wanted to make rides and things, and I remember my dad took me to a place that was he knew a guy who
Ooh.
knew a guy that we got to tour this factory that
Ooh.
it was like it was all like hydraulics and pistons
That's
and
cool.
stuff, and it was they made the stuff for like Chuck E. Cheese. That's what it
Oh,
was.
nice.
It was
Yeah.
with the company that used that license for like Chuck E. Cheese and
Nice.
Obiz Pizza and all
Nice.
those places that had
I was one of the few kids when we went to Disney that I was one of the few people that went to the Hall of Presidents to actually watch the Hall of Presidents, not just to get out of the sun and be in the air conditioning.
I can say, as someone who has been to Disney, I mean, many times.
Yes.
I have never been in the Hall of Presidents.
It's great. I think it's great.
Ever.
It's great.
Even as even as a kid, we never went in there. I've always kind of heard it as a punchline. I absolutely have no idea what it's
I like it. It's one of my favorite attractions, actually.
Well, Disney's now approximately $83,000 to get into.
Correct.
So
For a family of two.
I don't want to take
Yeah,
out
so-
another home equity loan
just to go Disney once.
in order to get a Lightning Lane into the Hall of Presidents.
Yes.
So
Agreed.
Uh,
I'm with you. And then what's the so we
and
did
it bothers
smell-
me every day of my life that I do not do that for.
As it does bother me that I am not Superman. Bothers me as well.
And the book for me that.
The book.
And having some time to think about it. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Because
That's up there for me as well.
Because I read that when I was fairly young,
I was
maybe like
fairly young as
11
well.
or 12, and it was basically like, oh yeah, it's all bullshit. Like this is all bullshit.
The universe is bullshit.
People, like money, people, like
Doesn't
the
matter.
world could just be blown up by a bunch of people who are like, oh, you're insignificant.
Who
Boom.
gives a crap?
And the whole point, it's mostly harmless. The whole thing is like the Earth doesn't fucking matter. We don't matter in the large scheme. And I'm like, that is so it was really because it was like being indoctrinated with all of the religion and everything else. It was someone giving me like approval to be like, that's all fucking crazy. That's stupid. Like you know that, right? That's
Fairly
idiotic.
aware.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, oh my god, yes. And like and it sort of gave me permission to
Gotcha.
because it wasn't like the point of the book or whatever, but like I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, like if you think about these concepts, this is nuts. Like, yeah, but we could just be blown up by
Right.
a Vogon constructor fleet.
Oh god, yes, exactly. Yeah, my like that's a good one. That would probably be up there for me. But I said To Kill a Mockingbird because it was the first like wake up call I had about racism. It didn't really occur to me before that it was a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that was kind of like, oh, people actually felt like this, like really strongly
Right.
about this. You know what I mean? The fact that
Right.
justice would be perverted because they hated black people so much in the South. You know what I mean? It was like that
Right.
profound. And
Yeah.
the courage of
And
a
then,
white
like,
guy to defend a black
all
guy.
of the everything he
in
had to
in
go
court,
through, and the fact
you
that
know?
this lawyer had to like basically put his life on the line or put his
Right.
career, everything,
and
just
risk
in
his
order
family.
to do the right,
right?
thing.
Yeah. That hit me.
His
Like,
family had to be on board with like we're gonna do this right thing.
Mhm.
Like it's like
Right.
yeah, that's that was America.
Yeah.
I believe that was when when it was great.
That was
We're
when.
trying to get to again.
That's. I know.
I don't remember.
Is that the
if
great,
that
or
is-
when was the great?
I hope that's not the
Is that
great.
the great? Because I don't think that was so
wasn't-
great.
That
It wasn't
sucked.
so great.
It's not so great now. So I
Not
don't
so
know.
great. I know.
But-
So when was the great?
We'll
So was
see.
the great? So when was that book
Maybe
set?
we'll get
to?
there.
That was set in the 1940s. Is that true? What was the time period of Kelly Mockingbird? I'm trying to remember now.
oh, I read. somewhere around there. Yeah, I can't say, or I can't
Look
remember.
it up in it. Time period.
It was
1933
the 30s, 1933. Okay.
time period. Yeah,
'Cause it was,
great,
it was
great.
like, it was,
Jim
it was
Crow.
like
Jim Crow.
pre-World War II.
Yeah. 33,
Okay,
35.
yeah,
Jim
yeah,
Crow. Yeah.
Jim Crow was still
So,
like
yeah.
alive and well.
Less than 100 years ago. Your grandparents remember that.
Yep.
It's like,
Um,
die.
Sulphur
get me
City,
started.
New Zealand. Sulphur City, New Zealand is one of the worst smelling places because it's next
Oh.
to all of these sulfur hot springs, and so it's like it has like a name. It's like
Rotten eggs.
Natura, and it's
Okay.
basically it's
Yeah.
it's nicknamed Sulphur City.
Got it.
But yeah,
Got
it's in New Zealand.
This is a
and,
pretty bad
it's pretty
place
bad. I
near-
don't know why anyone lives there. I
Got it.
really don't understand it. It's quite horrible.
2 towns away from us and here, an actual reality of where I live, was
Mm-hmm.
a plant for Weetabix. Remember Weetabix cereal maker?
Mhm. Oh
Um,
yeah.
Horrendous smells coming from that because it smelled like hot oat cereal, like prevalent, like so strong. It's like it was even difficult to drive past.
Oh.
And there's like apartment buildings. So I'm like, how do these people live here like this?
Right, and like especially like working in there or
Oh,
whatever.
it's gotta be horrible.
Um,
It finally closed down, so
I mean-
I guess people rejoiced. But never get that smell on the
mean-
walls. It's just like,
Right. I mean, how do people work in cheese processing?
Oh,
So I'm sure there's, there's
Lordy.
different. You don't think an abattoir is probably the most lovely smelling place in the world.
it is not. It is not.
Um,
So I think we covered it all. What do you
but on
think?
that note, I think we
I
covered
know.
everything.
I think we did.
Let
Um,
me check my notes. Let's see.
I think so, right? I think we helped everyone. I think the theme today, I'm like thinking of the review, right? And no one today was wrong, right? Like, except maybe Bethany was gonna quit her. No. No one was wrong. Yeah, no, Bethany was not gonna
No.
go to the party, right? She was the only one that was actually wrong. Like everyone else is like, no, you're gut.
And
You're
that
not the
wasn't
crazy
necess-
one. Go for that. Go for it.
Right. Right. That is
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
So everyone, pretty much
But,
everyone
yeah,
wrote
Bethany
today
was the only
except for
one whose
Bethany.
question was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was the only one of you that had a valid question. Everything else should have
Right.
been obvious to you, and you didn't need our
Yeah,
help. is
and
what
you
we're
came
saying,
to us and you
is
said,
what-
"Am
is
I
what
cra-"
Vanguard is saying.
Right. Am I crazy?
what
The
he's
answer is no, you're not. You're doing the
You're
right
not.
thing.
The answer is you're in Utah. Get
You're-
the fuck out of Utah.
You're either in Utah
Why?
or you're dating someone horrible, or you're...
Why do we keep having to go over this?
Right.
I don't understand.
Exactly.
Like,
So yeah, so
Um,
hopefully that helped everybody. I
and
mean, so,
yes,
yeah.
Batgirl was shelved by HBO Max in 2022.
HBO Max.
HBO Max. You can look that up.
I really want to see it
Uh,
now. Like I'm
deadline or
sort of
whatever things.
consumed with wanting
Oh,
to see
totally.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
A lot of people really
Yeah.
want to see it now, and
Yeah.
maybe that's the thing with, but they're like.
I wonder if there's a
no,
torrent
seriously,
bootleg
no,
of it out there. I wonder if there's a bootleg out there somewhere.
Not that I know of. I mean,
I'm gonna poke the dark
You're
web
the-
tonight and see what I can find.
you're the one that works. You work on the dark web, so that's fine.
I do operate in the dark web. So
Just open your Tor browser and your Onion browser. Get on
or
there.
an onion, yeah. Oh, but anyway, we're gonna sign off because
Yeah.
I think again we've said it all. I think we helped
We
the
are.
people we want to help. Remember under
We help the people that we want to help. That is
we
true.
have to, we do. I think Green Pants cherry picks the questions honestly, but I'm not gonna accuse him of that. So I think underneath Green
I
Pants
believe I've just been
is
accused.
the
I have been attacked.
the link to click to submit a question.
I will take this
That's
Sapphire.
important.
It's below me.
It is. It's below
And
him. Below
do I-
him,
do I
underneath
cherry
the chat, underneath the logo.
No.
Okay.
Do not cherry pick.
I think you
Well,
should
make-
select based on
I-
need. It should be
I-
chosen based on
I-
need and time urgency, right?
But then I'm prejudging the needs before, so I'm not, because I don't, I try not to like actually think about the questions at all
Oh, I see.
in terms of like, because it's
Oh,
like
I see.
I'm assessing
You're trying
them
to
for
check
the
your
first
own
time.
bias, and
Right? Because I'm thinking about them for the first time,
that's fair.
reading them now. Like
That's fair.
it's
That's
so,
fair.
Um,
In any case,
yeah,
submit your
but I think-
questions, and hopefully we'll answer them.
yeah,
That's what we do.
exactly. And maybe I'll read them. Whatever.
Maybe
But
we'll
they'll at any point Vanguard will read them.
I will read them.
And
So I
will
want to help
absolutely
everyone.
listen. And
Since I couldn't be
yes, we
Superman,
absolutely-
since I couldn't be Superman, I want to help everybody I can.
Right,
That's
exactly.
right.
He has to live with that every single day.
Every
And
day of my
I
life.
never got to make anything for Chuck E. Cheese or
Bum,
Country
bum,
Bear
bum,
Jamboree. So
bum.
know.
Bum, 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 bum.
oh my god. Okay, what did we say about singing during the can we please no singing? Can we just oh my god, okay, and that's in the music from earlier on. I don't can Can you flip this? Can you turn this? It's okay. So you have a bobblehead of yourself. I see, as Superman. How much it bothers you? It bothers you.